more accurate term, because your brain is not in fact able to focus on two things at the same time. It's able to switch from one to the other, right? And it may be able to switch from one to the other pretty rapidly, but it's not able to, like, it's like look in two different directions, right? And so what happens with that is that there is a loss of efficiency. So the more complex the task and the more tasks you add, the more your efficiency degrades, right? So common sense would say, sure, if I do one thing and focus on that one thing, I'm going to be 100% at my best efficiency for that one thing. But it degrades really quickly. So for every task that you add to the things that you're trying to do at the same time, you lose 20% of your efficiency at all tasks. So doing two things, now you're 40% less efficient than you. Back. We pivot on the heel, shift, then pivot on the heel. Good. We go forward, back, forward, back. Pivot on the heel, shift, pivot on the heel, forward, back, forward, back. We pivot on the heel, shift, pivot on the heel, forward, back, forward, and back. Very nice. So we shake it out. Deep breathing, palms up, elbows down, elbows out. Breath in, and come down slowly with the breath. Again, palms up, elbows down, elbows out, big breath in, and slowly out. And one more time, elbows down, elbows out, big breath in, and slowly out. Nicely done. So now we're going to put the hands on the waist. We're going to do shoulder rolls going back first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Very good. Now we're going to lift the palms up. Let your arms free fall. On the upstroke, we inhale through the nose. On the downstroke, we exhale through the nose. Good. Deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. So my wife, Karen, she ordered these, it's like a little, it looks kind of like a muzzle. It's like this little plastic frame, but it keeps the mask from getting stuck to your face when you're breathing in, and it's been really nice. It's just like a cheap little plastic thing. So she got, I don't know, like 20 of them. But it's handy for, I teach all these classes, and if you're like, and the thing's stuck, you're like, I'm waterboarding myself, like start to panic. So it's pretty good. All right. So the next thing that we're gonna do is make a circle with the wrist. We wanna bring the hands up the middle, turn the palms out and down. Very good. Nice. And now we switch, coming over the top and down the middle. Good. Yeah, I hear it. That's good. So yeah, sometimes that happens. We just have like a, a click or something in the, I promise it's probably not spare parts. And it always sounds louder to, like, I can't tell you how many times we've been in a class and someone will, like, their hip will crack or something. They look around like, did everyone hear that? So usually we're the only one, but I'm your witness. I heard that one. That was okay. So on this one, we're going to put both palms face down, and we're going to make a big circle with the arms, and the hands are going to go in the same direction. So we're going to turn to the right, lift, left down, right, lift, left down. On this third time, we're going to bring the right arm straight up and then change directions. Left lift, good. Right down, left lift, right down, and this time left arm straight up, and we change direction as much as is possible. 1, 2, and up. Good. Switch. 1, 2, and up. Very good. Switch. 1, 2, and up. 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 Awesome. So now we're going to bend the knees slightly. Again, Tai Chi, one of the main goals is to kind of delete muscular tension and relax as much as possible. And we're going to gently shift to the side. Again, we want to keep the shoulder on top of the hip. So there's two ways that this happens typically. We shift to the side and we just go with it, right? Or we shift to the side and we try to compensate kind of too much. So you really just want to gently keep the shoulder on top of the side of the position, because if you don't bend the knee, you run out of motion. This is why skiers bend their knees, to shift their weight from one side to the other, right? If they go straight leg, if you've already had that accident and you're in full body traction, skiing's a bad idea, right? So bending the knees is really useful to kind of absorb that weight and still keep the body vertical, which is important. Good. So from here, let's shift to the left. And now from here, we still have some residual weight on our right foot. We want to take that weight completely off because it makes it easier to move that foot. And so if we stand up on our left leg and lift the heel off the floor, you can feel the weight kind of lift off it. It becomes easier to move in, out, in, and to the side. And now we're going to shift to the right, lift, we come in, out, shift, lift, we come in, out, shift, lift, we come in, out, shift, lift, we come in, out, and one more time, shift, lift, we come in, out, and in. Awesome. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to put all our weight on our right leg, again, bending the knee slightly. It doesn't have to be like a deep stance, just enough to kind of shock absorb. And we're going to put our left foot back and then forward, back and forward. Now you can land or you can just keep it in air. Either way is fine. What we're going to do is with the left foot back, bring our left hand to the front. And now we're going to switch. You got it. That's it. Good. So if I'll do it from the side just so you can see for a second. When I'm doing this exercise, again, I want to keep the shoulders on top of the hips, side forward. The muscles of my back and my legs and tipping points. And if I aggressively swinging my leg, if you look at my torso, my shoulders on top of my hips, that relationship doesn't change. And that helps to maintain balance, right? So down on top of each other. when the arms are swinging, relax as much as you can in a conscious way. Is Kathleen doing it? Very good. Another thing is that we don't actually need the hands to come up too high. Really, the highest they're going to come shoulder height. That's as high as they would go. Because if you think about this being a walking step, typically, unless I'm really excited, I don't walk around like, right? Usually I walk, you just kind of turn, right? The reason that we swing our arms in the first place is because it acts as a counterweight to the feet. This is why we don't swing the hands in the same direction as that leg, because that would have the opposite effect of counterbalance. So when you do this, my arms are smaller than my legs. They don't have the same mass. I'm going to counterbalance something that has enough mass to counter the weight of the leg, and that's going to be the body. And so I turn my waist. That's why the arms swing in the first place. And that gives me enough mass to make up for the difference between the size of my arms and my legs. So we relax the body. And we gently turn the waist slightly as we do the motion, which is how we would walk normally. We put all the weight on the left leg, right hand forward as a start, your other right, there you go. You got it, good. Yep. Balance of this, which is we want to keep our head vertical, because if I look down, if I look down with my chin, it carries my body weight forward. And so keeping my head straight up and down, I can look at the floor with my eyes, but I don't want to drop my chin. Right, I had years and years and years ago, I had a snowboarding instructor, and he said, if you want to turn, yeah, very good. All right, we're now going to put our weight on our rotation exercise. We can do whichever one you move with. We're going to stop at that leg, right? We want to keep the weight off of that foot in all instances. The next way we're going to do this is the second iteration, and again, you can choose, doesn't matter which one. If you point your right toe to the corner, you're going to bring this foot across in front of that foot, right? The direction is still the same, to the side. Yep, good. And you'll notice as well that no matter how aggressively the leg is swinging, the body's fairly still, even with the arms going one way and the legs going other. If you look at the line down the torso, it's fairly still. Very good. Let's try the other side. So put all our weight on the left, reach out with the right, both hands to the left, and swing. Good. Good. Yep, good. So just one last kind of note about all of this. None of this is easy, by the way. So if you're feeling it's not easy, it's wholly appropriate. When we're counterbalancing something, the direction of each item, of each part, should be the same, right? If I try to swing my legs to the front and my arms to the side, I'm not really counterbalanced. It becomes harder to keep my balance. So this is one of the reasons why I point the supporting leg's toe to the corner. It opens up the hip and it makes it easier for this leg to come by. But I don't want to bring this foot back, because that adds another dimension that I'm not accounting for with my arms, which are going side to side. So if I were to go really slowly here, you see that they're both traveling in the same direction. Yep. So anyway, deep breathing. Awesome. All right, so the next one, next two exercises of the room, we're going to take the arch of our left foot and put it against the heel of the right, and then use that as a guide to step straight out. So we're looking at the floorboards on stage here. You can see, hold on, sounds like maybe we need just a little more. Okay. All right, so in any case, you can see that this foot is lined up straight this way, and this foot is on the same line as the heel of my foot that's facing this way. And so what we want to do is we're going to push off of our right leg and bend our left leg. And now when we get to here, we want to release the hip, relax, and you end up turning to the side. We sit back and we turn. We shift, turn, sit back, turn. Good. Shift, turn, sit back, turn. One more set. Shift, turn, sit back, turn. Awesome. Now we're going to do the arms. We're going to put the right hand at the left shoulder, left hand at the right hip. These arms can travel in this plane, both of them going in that 45 degree. If I take the hand that's at the shoulder and I hinge from the elbow, there's a 45-degree angle here. And if I take the hand from the hip, it's going to come up hinging from the elbow 45 degrees here. So these kind of travel in the same direction, even though they're going opposite sides. So from here, we're going to shift to the left. We're going to start by lifting the left, bringing the right hand down at that angle, lift the left, turn, drop, and we come back to the shoulder, sit back to the hip. Good. Shift to the left, lift the left, draw down with the right, turn, draw down with the left. Very good. Right hand to the shoulder, sit back, left hand to the hip, shift to the left, lift, draw down, right hand to the shoulder, left hand to the hip, shift to the left, lift, draw down, turn, draw down. Right hand to the shoulder, left hand to the hip, shift to the left, lift the left, draw down with the right, turn, draw down with the left. That was really good. So we're going to point directly towards the front of us, touch the arch of the heel. Everyone can see that kind of teeth that's made there. Turn. Shift to the right, turn to the right, sit back on the left, turn to the left, shift to the right, turn to the right, sit back on the left, turn to the left. Very good. So now we're going to put our left hand to the right shoulder, right hand at the left hip. So left hand, right shoulder. There you go. That's okay. All right. So we shift to the right, draw down with the left, turn, draw down with the right. Good. Left shoulder, hand to the hip. Shift to the right, lift the right, draw down with the turn, draw down with the right. When I shift to my right is going to be the one that comes up. When my left hand is the one that comes up. So that is a right hand at the hip, shift to the right, lift the right, draw down with the left, good, turn, draw down with the right. Left hand to the shoulder, back, right hand to the hip, shift to the right, lift the right, draw down with the left, turn, draw down with the right. Left hand to the shoulder, right hand to the hip, shift to the right, lift the right, draw down with the left, turn, draw down with the right. Very good. So, okay, so now we're going to go feet shoulder width again. We're going to point our right toe to the corner. We're going to lightly touch with the left toe. You can also do this exercise feet shoulder width, but you want to step straight out to the front. We don't want to put weight on that front foot at any time, which begs the question, why am I putting it out there if I'm not going to put weight on it? But the reason for that is that if my hip is tight and I turn, my ankle's going to turn out. Right? That you would say there's no movement in the hip there. Right? There's movement on this side, but not on this side. So by anchoring it, when I turn, if that foot stays to the front, I'm getting motion out of that. So that gives us kind of activated ball and socket on this. I get less of that action. If I keep all the weight on the back leg, when I turn, I'm getting that full mobility out of both sides of the hip, which is really useful. So that's the legs part of it. We're going to cross our arms, left hand on the outside. Good. Now we're going to lift our elbows to horizontal elbows. So we bring drop the elbows, turn to the front, cross. Good. One of the things that's a little tricky to do, but when we do this, when I open and I turn the waist, I want to keep my head facing the front. If I do this, I'm going to be inclined to focus more on this hand, and I end up actually overreaching, because when I get to here, I think, well, that can't be all there is to the arm, and so I end up doing this. So what I want to do is I lift, extend the left hand to the front, turn to the corner, but still look dead ahead. You can still see both hands, it just requires your precision. Right? We drop the elbows, turn back to the front, lift the elbows, extend the left hand to the front, turn to the corner, good. Drop the elbows, turn to the front, very good. Lift the elbows, extend the left hand to the front, turn to the corner, drop the elbows, turn to the front, lift the elbows, extend the left hand to the front, turn to the corner, drop the elbows, and turn to the front. Very good. Let's try the other side. We lightly touch with the right toe. We're going to cross with the right hand on the outside. We're going to lift the elbows, extend the right hand to the front, the corner, drop the elbows, turn back to the front. Good. Lift the elbows, extend the right hand to the front, turn to the corner. Elbows turn one more time. Lift the elbows, extend the right hand to the front, turn to the corner, drop the elbows. I just want to let you know that this angle I know is maybe a little bit tough because it's not fully directly in front to see the mirror image. So I appreciate that. And actually, I'm going to be talking with them after this class to see if we're able to use. They have these PTZ cameras. They kind of articulate and they can follow, but their view would be from the front. So if I can solution, we'll see how it goes. Exercises. Now we're going to do something a little simpler. So feet shoulder width, everything relaxed. We raise the arms, draw the elbows down, the hands come back to the body, and then we press down and we settle in the legs. So we lift, draw down, press and settle. 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 Good. So let's just try as an experiment something very quick. I want you to lift and focus on the wrist getting shoulder height. So we lift, right? We draw down, press and settle, lift, draw down, press and settle. So that would be what we call a pretty physical movement, right? This time, what I'd like you to do, I'm going to do it from the side also so you can see or even the rear view. The shoulders are rounded when we're relaxed. Doesn't mean that this is great posture, but if you fully relax the body, everything kind of rounds out. And from here, when I straighten, now I drop the elbows. When I press, I want to push my arms, I kind of draw down, press and settle. Lift from the back, draw down, press and settle. Lift from the back, draw down, press and settle. Lift from the back, draw down, press and settle. Very good. So you notice a difference there, right? It requires less muscle and it feels a little more kind of natural, like it happens a little easier. And so that's one of the differences between, I mean, we're moving with our body, so everything we're doing is physical movement. But there are some things that we're doing that we're using more muscle than is necessary just because we're focusing on the wrong thing to make that action happen. And so it's understandable. We think, well, I'm going to raise my arms the height of my shoulders. Of course, I'm going to lift from here. But you feel that it's more effortless if you lift from the body. And everything we're doing in Tai Chi, we're trying to train the body to be the driver of all of our movement with our extremities. So everything we do with the legs and the arms have it. Very good. So the next one's even less motion. We're going to just hold this low hoop position. So when we're holding this position, we want to breathe deeply and gently, and we want to try to be aware. It's sometimes our mind's going to wander and we're thinking, man, I got to remember to get milk on the way home. But for the most part, this is not what we're talking about when we're talking about being present, right? So being present is really another way of saying just being aware of what's happening. And so if we think about it as this is happening, we try to observe, is there tension in my body? And we might notice, hey, wow, I didn't realize I was kind of racking this position and my hips are tight, or oh, I'm feeling it in my shoulders right now. So wherever you feel tension, if you notice tension, you want to use your breath and your mind to get that tension to release. And the way to do that is to think about that muscle relaxing and to breathe deeply and gently. Good. Let's raise that hoop shoulder height. Most will notice a little more tension in the shoulder because your arms are farther away from the body. But we want to, again, use the breath and our kind of intent to get the shoulders to relax. Ball between the palms here. This position, we could also do this way. We make a triangle and then let the wrist fall back. That's the position of the arms. Good. Let's bring our elbows out. The hands come down. We turn the palms over. We're going to straighten our arms, our legs, and most importantly, the spine. I often use an analogy of a marionette puppet that it's being pulled up by the string at the top of the head. We just want to kind of be straightened out, standing tall, but relaxed. Good. We straighten the wrist, fingers towards. Very good. We do deep breathing, palms up, elbows down, elbows out, deep breath in, and slowly out. Again. Very good. And one more time. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to step out again to that stance that we were in when we were doing the silk reeling exercise. The silk reeling exercise is 5 separate movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and repeat. We're going to bring our right foot to the front and we step out with the left foot, that same kind of alignment. And what we're going to do is put the right hand at the shoulder, left hand at the hip. Before we move the feet, let's just see them up and one would come down diagonally. So we have one that starts at the shoulder, one that starts at the hip, and the two pass each other on the way. Yep. When we get to this position, because we're going to kind of pivot from the elbow, this elbow remains bent and this elbow remains bent. We want to rest our low hand kind of as though we're on an invisible counter. Here, close to open. Good. Close, open. Remember, no matter what happens if you get confused with your hands, if we're shifting to the left, it's going to be the left hand that comes up. We shift to the left, open. Very good. Sit back, close. Shift to the left, open. Sit back, close. Shift to the left, open. Sit back, close. Shift to the left, open. Sit back, close. Good. Let's try the other side. So we're going to step out with the right foot. We're going to bring the left hand to the shoulder, right hand to the hip. Shift to the right. Open. Right hand is the high hand. Sit back. Left hand to the shoulder. Shift to the right. Open. Right hand is the high hand. Sit back. Left hand to the shoulder. Good. Shift to the right. Right hand comes up. Sit back. Shift. Open. Close. Good. Shift. Open. Close. Excuse me. Shift. Open. Close. Very good. Shift. Open. And close. Good. I'm just going to take a quick sip of water for 1 sec. Sorry. So the fact that we get confused when our hands are crossing makes sense, right? I don't know if we did this last time, but you intertwine your fingers and now move your left ring finger, right? You probably have to think about it for a second. Might not be a lot of thought, but you go, okay, yeah, this one, yeah, that's the one that's moving. That's the one I wanted. Awesome. But this is because your brain expects to see these fingers on this side, these fingers on this side, this hand on this side. When we start to do this, our brain has to kind of do a calculation, especially when we're trying to think about it, because you're hearing the narration of what we're doing, we're trying to achieve all of those steps, shifting, turning, resetting, shifting, turning. We're setting a reference of shoulder and hip, right? We're trying not to extend too far. We get all of this cacophony of instruction, and it's a lot for the brain to keep track of. Again, remembering that there's no such thing as multitasking, there's task switching, right? And so we're having to switch from, okay, I've shifted, now I bring this one up, okay, what's this one? This one goes down, right? It's very easy to get confused in all of that, but it's par for the course. You had a question? Uh-huh. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do, is build that muscle memory. There's a reason why we always reference our own body, right? Because if we reference our shoulders, chances are I'm going to do this at home, I've got my shoulders with me, right? If I say face due east, forget it, right? But exactly, everyone's doing the calculation, right? Okay, so you're all better at it than me. Orienteering, I'd be happy to have you guys on my team so that I would get home safely. But so, direction is a little bit harder, but referencing the body, we say, okay, from the shoulder to the hip, right? From the hip to the shoulder. These are things I can verify. Also, shapes are things that I can verify using my own body. I go, okay, this is an angle. So these are things we can kind of happening versus, okay, at a 65 degree or whatever it is, we're referencing the body. That's something you always have with you as a tool to kind of keep track of this stuff. All right, so next up, feet shoulder width, palms facing down, and again, knees slightly bent whenever we're in the shoulder width position. That mic's, there it is. All right, so we made the circle with both arms. We're going to do just the right hand this time. Good. Now notice when we come down, we still kind of have that wrist bent as though it were on a counter. We come up. We're not just kind of giving up on the hand. We bring it down. Good, let's try the left arm. Same exact thing. Very good. Now we're going to do right, followed by left, followed by right, followed by left. Awesome. Now we're going to add turning the waist. So when we pick up the right, we turn to the right corner, put it down, pick up the left, turn to the left. Put it down, pick up the right, turn to the right. Put it down, pick up the left, turn to the left. Put it down, pick up the right, turn to the right. Put it down, pick up the left, turn to the left. Put it down, pick up the right, turn to the right. Put it down, pick up the left, turn to the left. Very good. Low hoop. And we're going to lift this hoop above the head, palms out. Drop the elbows to vertical, cross in the middle, back down the low. So, sorry, Mike just keeps running away from me here. One sec. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can do the cheat that my teacher does. He sticks it in the mask. That's it. Hold on. Let's see. I don't know why it's cutting out. Okay. We'll get back to it. Low hoop. Lift. Palms out. Drop the elbows cross. Low hoop. Good. Palms out. Drop the elbows cross. Low hoop. When we lift up this round shape that we have, when we in the palms out position, we want the fingertips to face each other. This is going to help to ensure a nice rounded shape. Now, good. Lift, palms out, drop the elbows, cross, low hoop. Good. Lift, palms out, drop the elbows, cross, low hoop. Palms out, drop the elbows, cross, and low hoop. Very good. Let's bring that hoop shoulder height. We're going to turn the palms face out. Now we're going to trace a kind of figure eight on its side lined up on the shoulder height. So what we do is drop the elbows, the hands come out. Bring the elbows in, the hands come in. Out, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and in. Awesome. We're going to go palms up, waist high. Around, gather fists, and so again, palms up, form a circle, gather fists, and extend, palms up, form a circle, gather two fists, and extend, palms up, form a circle, gather two fists, and extend, palms up, form a circle, gather two fists, and extend. Good. When we gather the fist, we're going to elbow the fist come alongside the body. And I don't want to lift the fist up. I want them to come out the waist. So we're here, circle, gather, and just extend out. Gather and extend. Good. Draw it down with the right hand. Come around. The left. Around. Draw down with the right. And around. Draw down with the left. And around. Draw down with the right. And around. Draw down with the left. And around. Very good. Horizontal elbow with the right palm facing left. Sorry, getting a lot of staticky off of that. Let's see. All right. So technical difficulties today. So when we go to a horizontal elbow position, elbow is really the thing we want to focus on. It's very easy to bend the wrist and feel like it's a rounded position, but actually we need to lift that elbow up. We're going to put the left palm against the right palm, and we want one elbow down and one elbow up. So our right elbow's up, our left elbow's down, and now we're going to alternate at the shoulder. So we change the elbow's position. We maintain that one is up and one is down. Good. Excellent. Let's switch sides. So we're going to round out with the left palm facing us. We'll make sure that elbow is up. Right palm against the left. Again, the right elbow's down now and the left elbow's up, and we switch. Good. So just one thing as we do this, with this elbow up, I can lift the elbow on the other side to switch, or I can relax the shoulder and let that elbow descend and this one reacts. And you see if you feel a difference. You relax and let that descend. You relax and let that descend. The reason that we want to focus on doing it that way is that if I focus on lifting, pretty soon both shoulders are kind of tight, right? And so we want them to kind of relax into that, hello, into that. He was here for Tai Chi for just a second. Yeah, very good. That's it. So you feel it has a different kind of quality to the movement. Excellent. So let's go back to that triangle position. This exercise is called drawing the bow. And we want to do this as though we're drawing a bow and arrow. So what we're going to do, I'm actually going to turn conventional view for a sec. With both hands in that neutral position, if I turn towards my right and then turn back to the middle, I end up aligned where my right arm's out to the side and my left elbow's in alignment with the body. I now turn to my left and turn back to the middle. Good. Turn towards my right and back to the middle. Turn towards my left and back to the middle. Turn towards my right and back to the middle. Turn towards my left and back to the middle. That's very good. So conventional view in there. But if you think about it, what we're doing is 2 waist turns per direction. I turn towards my right and then I turn my body back. Right? Practically speaking, in archery terms, if I were to grab onto the bow, turn to the side and push my arm out, I'd never hit the target because my muscles would be in spasm, right? And the same thing if I turned and went, it's a lot of muscle to hold on to the thing. So if you had an actual bow in your hands, you would turn towards your target to sight, and then you would turn your waist using kind of the bigger muscles of the body so they don't have to work as hard to get here, which would allow the arms to relax, which would allow you to be more accurate. Now, you're probably not going to pick up archery anytime soon, although there's a really cool place. I can't remember the town. It's in, I think it's in Western Mass. We took my daughters. It's an indoor archery place. We had a blast. This was pre-COVID. I'm pretty sure all their events are outdoors now. But we had some great teachers there. But the thing that was interesting is that when we went to draw the bow, that one of the instructors came over and said, "So how long have you been doing archery?" And I was like, "Does summer camp count?" And he said, "No." I said, "About 5 minutes." And it's not, by the way, I do not want to mislead anyone into thinking I'm good at archery. I am not. But the drawing the bow motion was natural because this is how you move in Tai Chi. And so that part of it, you know, someone who does told to think had done archery and was just not a great shot because of the mechanics of drawing the bow. They're like, most people kind of put a lot more muscle into it than is necessary. So if we've learned anything today, we've learned A, I'm not very good at archery, and B, that if we can move our body the way it's designed to be moved, we need less muscle to do so. The more muscular tension we have in the body, the more prone we are to injury, loss of balance. You know, if I tense all my muscles and try to move really quickly, chances are I'm going to tear something, right? If I'm really tense here and I go to step, I'm much more likely to fall, right? If I overcommit my weight and kind of, I'm already got that forward momentum. I catch some small edge of something and I can easily fall over. Structure to kind of stack on top of itself the way it's designed to for balance. Use it to counterbalance as I go. And in most things, try to keep the body relaxed. The more likely that I'm going to avoid injury, loss of balance, all of that stuff. The other thing is, in terms of circulation, because Tai Chi is known to improve circulation, right? And also can be pretty useful for people who have osteoporosis and who have circulation really helps those things. In regards to muscular tension, if I clench my fist as tight as I can, you can see that the blood is kind of stuck in the fingertips, which is why the tips of my fingers and the nails are pink. And this is all kind of much lighter in color. If I relax and open the hand, it flushes with blood and the whole palm becomes pink, right? And this is basically how your muscles constrict and pump blood through your body. If you don't move your body at all, you'll die, right? You need to, we're not designed to be sedentary, even though, you know, modern technology being what it is has allowed and sometimes caused us to be more sedentary. But we're designed to move. This is why we have all these joints. This is why our backbone isn't a single bone. It's a series of articulating bones that are meant, little gaskets, to move in supple fashion. And so if we have a lot of tension in the body, that also is going to affect the ability for the blood to flow through the body. If we relax the body and move, the circulation improves. All right, so let me see, where were we? We had gotten to draw the bow. So we have two more. So if we open the feet and point the toes to the corners and we bend the knees slightly, we're going to cross the wrists and lift up the middle and make a big circle. Good. So lift, big circle, cross, lift, big circle. Good. So without exception, everybody is crossing, lifting, making a nice big circle, and you're probably not having to think about it too much. Remember that, because when we turn and turn back, if we can automate this part of it, no matter where I go, this is the same process that's happening, right? So I can walk all over the place, I can change directions. This is what we mean by automating that process. So when we're here, we cross, lift, big circle. Now we're going to try return to the right, cross, lift, and turn back to the middle as we make our big circle. Good. Turn to the left, cross, lift, big circle, turn to the middle. Beautiful. Turn to the right, cross, lift, and to the middle. Turn to the left, cross, lift, to the middle. Turn to the right, cross, lift, to the middle. Good. So now we're going to go again, feet shoulder width. We're going to cross with the right hand on the outside. We lift with the right and press with the left. Switch. Good. We switch. 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 And switch. Very good. Deep breathing. Palms up. Elbows down, elbows out. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome. So are there any questions so far? No questions. Okay. So let's do, I think we're kind of, this class is 1 to 2, right? Yeah. So we're 4 minutes past, but let's finish with some actual Tai Chi sequence as well, right? So what we'll do is we're going to do our grass the sparrow's tail 3 ways. We're going to do it symmetrically with our feet still. We're going to do it asymmetrically with our feet still. And then we're going to do the whole thing with the legs moving as well. Don't panic. I have not yet lost a person in Tai Chi class to this, so knock on wood, I think we're going to be all right. So we go feet shoulder width, we make the triangle position. We lift the elbows, make a nice big hoop. It's round. Good. Straight out in front of us is square. Square because of that angle of the shoulder and chest. Drawing down diagonally with the wrist. Lift the hands, shoulders, and push out square again. Again, we draw down diagonally, palms up, and the fingertips towards each other in the middle, and back to triangle. Good. So in the triangle position, we don't want the elbows out too far. We want to kind of have the shoulders relaxed so the elbows come down. There's about a fist's width of distance between the rib cage and the elbow, and we're here. Now we lift and fill out that hoop. Nice. Extend straight out square. Draw diagonally down to the hips. Lift up, push out square. Again, I'm going to go from the side so you can see from the shoulder. We have to relax the shoulder and elbow and wrist, but we want this hands to travel diagonally down until it reaches the hip. Yep, and then we lift and push out. Very good. We draw down again, palms up, and the fingertips meet in the middle like I'm holding a book, and back to, I know who walks around with a book like this. But anyway. Okay, one last time. I won't narrate this time. Excellent. Very good. Awesome. Okay, so that's the symmetrical version. Now we're going to do the asymmetrical version. The asymmetrical version just means one hand's going to do one thing while the other does the other. So we're going to draw down with our left hand. Horizontal elbow is that hoop with the right, palm against palm. Extend out with the right arm, connect at the wrist. Draw both hands down to the left hip. Left palm up, push your right hand to the right hip, lift the hand to the shoulder, and go forward. Awesome. Let's try that again. Triangle position. We draw down with the left, horizontal elbow with the right, left palm against the right, extend out, connect at the wrist, and we draw diagonally down to the hip, left palm up, push the right hand to the right hip, lift the hand to the shoulder, and we go square. Let's do that one more time. I'm not going to narrate, but don't worry, we're going to be able to follow along. Good. Nice. Awesome. So the adding the legs actually isn't so difficult because we're only going to shift forward and back. It's not like we're crossing the feet or doing a lot of stepping with this. So if we start with our left toe facing the corner and we step straight out with our right foot, this is our empty stance, all the weight's on the back leg. We go to triangle, form the hoop, palm against palm, we shift forward, extend out square, connect at the wrist, sit back, we draw both hands down to the left hip, left palm up, push the right hand to the right hip, lift the hand to the shoulder, and we shift forward. Good. So we do want to maintain that connection of one hand to the other when we're in this position. Let's try that one more time. We draw down with the left, horizontal elbow with the right, palm against palm, we shift forward. We extend out with the right and now connect the wrist of the right to the fingertips of the left. Both hands draw down to the left hip. Turn the left palm up. Push your right hand to the right hip. We go forward. Good. Let's try one more time. No narration. Good. Awesome. Very well done. So that's our class for today. And thank you all for coming. It's a beautiful, and because who knows how many more of these days we have. And I'll see you at the next one.